In this video, you'll learn how to use the online calculator to solve problems involving exponents. Okay, so let's talk about the two key buttons that you'll use when you're working with exponents. This button right here, it says a to the second power. You only type in, or you only select this button when something is being squared. So that means it's being raised to the power of 2. See, because it has it specified. The exponent has to be a 2 there. So for example, if I wanted to know what 5 to the second power was, or 5 squared is, I would hit 5 and then hit this button. And then the 2 is in the exponent. And I get my answer over here. So 5 to the second power equals 25. Same thing if I wanted to know what 3 to the second power was, I'd get 9. Okay? But what if you have an exponent that is not a 2? That's where you would use this button. So any exponent that you're working with, or even if it is a 2, it doesn't matter, you can use this button as well. But if you want to type in a number that has an exponent that's different than 2, you can use this button. So for example, if we wanted to say 8 to the third power, so I type the number 8, then I hit this button, and you see my little line now is showing me where I'm at, is up at the top. Then I type in the number 3. So 8 to the third power, or 8 cubed, is 512. Okay. Let's see, 6 raised to the fifth power is 7,776. Okay, let's practice some. Here's a problem. It says, what is the value of 1/8 to the fourth power? Raised to the fourth power. So I'm going to type this in my calculator, my online calculator, the exact same way that I see it. So I'm going to include the parentheses. So I hit the parentheses there. And the moment you type, you select this parentheses, your cursor is already inside of it. And now I have a fraction. So now I'm going to hit my fraction notation button. And then I'm going to put 1/8. All right, so now I have that fraction typed up, and I want to raise it to the fourth power. So I am going to hit this button, a to raised to b. And then I'm going to type the number 4. And this is my answer. Now, for those of you who are in 8th grade, this looks very familiar to you because this is just scientific notation. For anybody else, this may look a little wonky, all right? We haven't really been working with this. That's okay. Remember, we can always hit this button over here and it'll convert it to a different format. So right now, this is what the answer is as a fraction. So you have it written here in scientific notation, or click the button again and it'll express it as a fraction. So now I want you to try. Go ahead and pause the video and solve this problem, 3/7 raised to the fifth power. At this point, you should have solved the problem. So let's go ahead and work on it together. Again, I'm going to type it in the exact same way that I see it on the screen. So I'm going to hit my parentheses down here. It's a fraction, 3/7. So I'm going to hit the fraction notation button over here and type 3/7. And the exponent is a number that's not a 2. Remember, if it was a 2, I can hit this button. But since it's 5, I'm going to hit a raised to b, this button here. And then I'm going to type in the number 5. And then I get this as my answer. This as my answer as a decimal. And if I want it as a fraction, I'm going to click this button to convert it to a fraction. And that is my answer expressed as a fraction. Okay, so you have learned the two key buttons that you'll need to work with in order to solve problems involving exponents. You can hit this button here, that's a raised to 2, and that's anytime you have an exponent, your exponent is 2. Or you can hit this button here that says a raised to b, and that's when you have an exponent that's any number that's not a 2.